Hello there, sweet peach bubblegum. Today, we're going to be speaking about where we are in the cycle. History is repeating, friends. I'm going to tell it to you straight. Yes, history is repeating very spookily, very scary, also very exciting, very invigorating. It's repeating exactly the same. I've shown you many times the Bitcoin 4-year cycle and the fractal from the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle has been repeating, but also where we are right now. And specifically, I'm going to show you new information that obviously I've just discovered from all my plotting and stuff. So we're going to go through this, right? So right now, if we look at all our pain, friends, you zoom into crypto, you go, well, what are we actually whinging about? Well, it's Bitcoin on a monthly candle. It is the second red monthly candle in a row. And, you know, from watching my videos, man, you can just tell. You don't even have to look at the chart. You can just tell, whoa, it's definitely, you know, this type of color candle, right? And that's what's been happening so far. So I'm going to show you my monthly actual chart now. And I have a lot of things going on here, right? So this is where more non-believers start to enter. And this is where we're looking for our cycle top. This is somewhere in 2025, if it all plays out, okay? We don't know. We don't know 100%, but this is where the Bitcoin halvening has happened. Now, what I've done is I actually cleaned up the chart here for you, and I made it nice and neat. And I can show you now, right, that during the Bitcoin halvening year, after that event, if you go and stand on each event, you can look at the price action of Bitcoin and how it behaves. And what I've done is I've marked them here for you. So we have 2012, right? 2016, 2020, and then we have our halvening right now. Okay, so what you can actually do is, friends, we can zoom in to this. We can see, okay, it's a bit hard to zoom in, but see these green monthly candles where we just go up only? This is what Raoul Pal refers to as basically the banana. Okay, so that's a banana zone where there's a global macro liquidity event where they basically just start to stimulate everybody again. And like, don't worry about the timing. You know, it's because of the GFC. The world economy pretty much died, and now everybody's just trying to like print money to pay off the debts. So it is a ticking time bomb. Okay, but luckily we're in crypto. They can't print crypto. That's why you're in here in the first place. And then that fiat bucket is moving into our bucket. That's pretty much what we want. So when we look at this cycle, friends, I know all you see, you go, oh wow, after the vertical line, we just go up. Okay, but remember, it's 1 month at a time. All right, and this is where we are right now. So yes, the banana zone is due to happen. Everything says it's going to happen. And if we continue, the top, okay, remember, there's a difference between, okay, top of Bitcoin and top of altcoins. They happen at different times. And we get just a range of time. It's somewhere in 2025. But more specifically, if you want to map them out, it's anywhere from April 2025, the final top, to November 2025, somewhere next year. But you got to be careful because altcoins don't have to be in that zone, and your altcoin in particular. So what we saw in 2021 was 95% of altcoins peaked in the first alt season wave. So even though technically when you look at the altcoins, it makes a new high, it's a new constituent of altcoins when you're looking at the others BTC ratio. This is others BTC. You can see it right here, right? So this is alt season wave number 1 right here. And then this looks like it breaks a new high, but actually most altcoins were not making a new high. This was just a whole new pack of altcoins appearing up and going ballistic. Okay, so it's very important. So basically you have to sell everything here. Okay, now if that repeats again, that's December. But don't worry about like those specific little altcoin timing because they're just so weird and like, you know, they're crazy as well if that really does happen. That's what it would look like, by the way. We literally just start going up only and we explode. Remember, crypto does go parabolic. They feel like such big events, but they happen so fast. Okay, it's only 100 days. 100 days. The first 50 days is this boring walk up, moving up, walk up. And the final 50 days is this explosive parabola. All right. Now, specifically, I want to speak about these 2 red monthly candles, friends, because if we are repeating close to a cycle before, it is like the 2016 cycle. All right. And that's pretty much what we've been seeing. And why? Well, I mean, I've mentioned this to you before, of course. In that previous cycle, Mt. Gox was the biggest Bitcoin exchange. It was doing 80% of the world Bitcoin trading volume. and it was a Ponzi and it exploded. All right, Mt. Gox exploded and that's pretty much running a Ponzi, and that's what we have today. Now, the yellow line is obviously, that is the 2016 fractal of Bitcoin overlay with our cycle today. So we are right here. So it's funny, we are just like right exactly where we should be, which is funny and spooky, okay? But these things had a lot of similarities. They had a double bottom type of structure. The timing of the recovery was the same. This, what we call like a cruel sum, if you will, would basically just go nowhere up here. That was the same. And then we have like this sudden burst of random upwards coming up as well. But now, people are focused on this deviation part here, but this is pretty much Bitcoin spot ETF, okay? But we've just converged anyway, okay? So it's very, very spooky. And then the timing of it, the timing of this to this, right? Now, obviously, a lot of people believe 69K was the top, but it wasn't the top of retail alt season, okay? So clearly, there's something magical about this ghost cousin of our cycle, and that is the 2016 pattern. So naturally, it pays, or it's worth some attention, right? If we go to the 2016 cycle and we actually pay closer attention. Okay, so if we're going up here to the 2016 area, this vertical line is the Bitcoin halvening. All right, the Bitcoin halvening. Now, on the Bitcoin halvening, look at this theme, okay? 2 red monthly candles. You can see that, friends, just to confirm. We had 2 red monthly candles, and then we went up only, all right? So this is where 1 and 2. Now, if you're curious, right, you can actually go back before. In 2012, there were no red monthly candles. It was just straight up only first. Then we had 2 red monthly candles. This was the double bubble, and then we continued up. But still, right after the Bitcoin halvening, there's no 2 red monthly candles around here. You might have even had it before, but remember, it was pretty early, right? In this one, we did have 2 red ones. Then we continued up. And then in 2020, what happened was we just had 1 red monthly candle. We go up, 1 red monthly candle again. By the way, this was still horrendous, okay? This was September 2020. This was a wipeout of all the altcoins. I'm not even joking, okay? So many altcoins were down 70, 80% whilst Bitcoin was breaking the high. Nobody, like, it was like really, really, really vicious, really cruel. It was the hangover from DeFi season, right? That's pretty much what ended up happening. So this is pretty much what we're going off. Now, if we look at ours today, we are on 2 red monthly candles in a row after this Bitcoin halvening, okay? Technically, you might want to count that one, but that's 1. I'm thinking about the ones in a row, the combination in a row, 2 red months in a row. And that's where we are today. So, I mean, it's crazy. Yes, it is crazy that it's happened exactly the same. So 2016, there were 2 red months in a row. Now 2024, we've had that as well. We've had June and July, both of them being red. And then if we do continue the top, I can show you that box again. You can see the box of friendship here. All right, this is anywhere from like, this is the box. This one ends here in around November, but like you don't know. Just be prepared for anything. And now, friends, I'm going to play some nice gentle pump music for you, just so we can go in and investigate that chart a bit more deeper. You see this 2012 cycle, friends? You notice the box is giant, and then it gets smaller, and then smaller. Now, this is diminishing gains. You can see it pretty much. You can actually see the diminishing gains happening over time, all right, over time. And at each inflection point up the top, the Bitcoin maxis and everyone is going to tell you that there is no diminishing gains. They're going to say no because they're going to keep printing the fiat Ponzi money forever, exponentially forever. We'll see, man. We'll see. Like right now, don't forget, they did print exponentially in 2020. They had the zombie virus, all right? This is the most important. So this box was smaller than that box. And here you had infinite QE, right? You had 0% rates. Okay, you had Elon Musk shilling. So if there was any box that was meant to go up, it had to be this one. But now we have a bit of a conspiracy, right, where a lot of people got to see that Soy Bankman-Fried was dumping customer Bitcoin and Ethereum to basically either do something, or either probably pay themselves or pump up Solana. We don't know exactly what they did. We don't know what the real evidence on that all that is. But they were 10% of the market. And by the way, that's a lot, friends. Just to let you know, that 10% is a lot, because 10%, oh, that's not that much. No, that's a big amount. It's a big amount, because we know even from the price action, right? Even from just any coin, the available liquidity is only about 1% of the total market cap. 1%. All right. So if you're able to smack something super aggressive at these points of inflection, it's possible you like stop the parabola. It is possible. You just absorb it heaps. But you're selling Bitcoin of customers who aren't intending to sell. They bought it to purchase. It's just that when they buy it, they go and dump it, okay? But we don't know, okay? That's conspiracy. We still don't know. You would kind of hope that Infinite Q was able to push beyond that, but it didn't, all right? So that's where we have today. That's why we don't look at the number specifically. We want to look at the timing, okay? Look at the timing. That's most important. Now, of course, this is the controversial part, okay? Because how long did this one go for? Was it only this period, or did it go up to like the end of 2021? Who cares about this point? Okay, this was retail mania. That's what basically I'm telling you. The first big retail mania is after that Bitcoin halvening, and that's where we are today. So if we zoom in, we have the second red monthly candle, and that's where we are today. So yeah, don't know, friends. Once again, okay, I'm not making short-term trades off this. I'm just telling you so far, everything is repeating exactly the same, and if it does repeat, we get the up-only part. You know, you have this up-only part. So like, I'm just going to tell you, right? Roughly, look at this first one. This first one was 90x. Okay, so that first one was 90, and then from that crash around here, this one was around 32x. So you divide it by 3 again, right? And then this one is about 7x. Okay, so it seems to be like you're dividing by about 3-ish. Right, so what would be 7 divided by 3 is about 2x. What would the 2x be? It'd be 120k. I'm hoping it's much higher, but I'm just giving you an idea of these boxes are getting smaller and smaller over time. All right, but we don't care really about that. We just care about this pretty much this up part. That's what we hope, and we hope this topping out part happens. That's pretty much what we want to see. So I'm here just to tell you that. That's all been playing out. And also got to remind you, Bitcoin halvening year, friends, is a warm-up alt season year. And I told you this last year, and I remember telling myself this last year. And if, friends, I feel bad that coins go down, of course, but I'm just telling you, reminding you, last year, we all thought everything was literally going to zero and would never, ever have a bull market ever again. Okay? The goal of the Bitcoin halvening year, it's not to retire anybody. Nobody retires in the Bitcoin halvening year. In a Bitcoin halvening year, it just gives you the belief that it's possible for the bull spirit to come, the actual bull mania spirit. And if we look around, let's be honest, did the action of the Solana, meme coins, all this stuff going up, did they convince you that your coins could fly at one point? Yes. Yes, they did convince you. They go, it's possible. Okay, you saw things moving up. You saw it around like, oh, wow, things can actually move up. Yes, you saw things go nuts. That's pretty much why it's a warm-up all season year. The real one comes now, I guess, in the next period, which is what we're hoping we get towards. We're in this shakeout period now. Hopefully, we continue August, September, October. We start building up into that. So for the next 12 months, we'll see where we land, okay? And the negative sentiment you see of people right now, it's because they've just had dopamine taken away from them, okay? That's what it comes down to. And not everyone can handle that, because when they have this dopamine taken away from them, it's literally like taking drugs from a drug addict. And they don't know how to control themselves. So they'll say a lot of nasty things. They'll start blaming everything on everyone else. But really, we know what we're here for, friends. We know that we're playing the whole cycle. None of us had any intention ever to do any of these short-term trading stuff. And we don't really care about people trying to predict, the exact move tomorrow, whatever. They're leverage traders. We don't care about them. Okay, we know what we're here to do. We're investors. We're here to play that whole cycle. And the final kicker we're waiting for, which is due, the final kicker is the continual rise of the M2, which is just the global liquidity being pretty much printed around the world. Now, I'm going to show you this post I made a year ago, right? June 2023. Look at this. Pretty much the NASDAQ, this is the global liquidity index, okay, with the NASDAQ. See how it just tracks it one for one? It's literally the same thing. See how these lines move together, friends? Yeah, that's pretty much it. See that? That's just showing you what's actually happened, friends, is like there's too much debt in the world. We're at late stage fiat. We're at late stage fiat. They have to do a great reset, which is what they've kind of hinted to us a long time ago. Remember, governments plan things very, very far in the future, friends. Half of them, who knows if they're even human, right? Right. It could be like alien Anunnaki. Who knows? Being controlled. Okay. Very, very long-term planners. Now, there has to be a great reset. We have to move to something else. But before they move to something else, they got to kill the first thing. Because if they kill the first thing, then that new system looks better. So that's pretty much it. Okay. It's kind of like, well, I want you to move from your home and you don't want to move for your home. All right, well, first thing I'll do is I'll light your home on fire, and I'll put a home next to your home, and you're like, oh, that one's at least not burning. Let's go to that one. That's so much better. And look who rescued us. Oh, these people gave us the new home. No. The government's going to pretend to give you a new home, but you don't know the government started the fire. All right, they come in, they start the fire, and they extinguish. Okay, now what we're actually finally waiting for is this global liquidity index. You see this yellow line here, and this is with Bitcoin chart on top. Okay, global liquidity index, friends. That's what we're actually waiting for. We're waiting for this global liquidity index to just start rising again. And I can show you what it did back in 2020. Look what it did back in the zombie virus. This is obviously hyper reactive because the zombie virus. They just go bang, 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 bang. Okay, so remember they announced, okay, we're going to print money. And that's it. They just start doing it every month. You see that? Every month they just go smack, 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 smack. But we don't need that much money printing in our cycle to give us big returns. Why is that? It's because when they print money, friends, they don't just do it because they want to. They do it because they have to, right? This money printing is to cover the damage first, because we had a lot of joblessness people. You know, the zombie virus is going around everywhere. Everyone's got turned to flesh-eating zombies, right? And you need to cover the hole first. You need to cover the lack of demand everywhere. So the first lack of demand, like there's a giant minus 15% GDP demand. They've got to print that first. Then the excess comes out of that. Then they get things going. You see what I mean? In our cycle, we don't have a zombie virus. There is no zombie virus here. Like, we got a stronger economy. Now, of course, anything can happen. I know anything, or it could be another one, but the chances of another zombie virus happening very, very low, because that was truly Black Swan esque, and they don't happen so close to each other. Black swans are usually like 20 years apart. Like, if you go back, check the charts, you know, like unforeseen stuff. Okay, so that's why probably the next things that happen, they're not going to be as like hugely shocking, like immediate liquidation to the level of the zombie virus. But it doesn't mean markets won't go down. Of course, there'll be periods of markets going down and stuff. But I'm talking about the shock of just waking up, you're down minus 70%. See you later. World's over. You know what I mean? That was once in a lifetime type of thing. All right, now that's what we're waiting for. Friends, see this, just the yellow line just starting to slowly rise up. That's pretty much what you're going to be playing for in this next part. And what does it look like today? Well, I'll just go back to the chart and show you. That's what it looks like today. You see this? It's gone nowhere for a long time, right? But the stock market's gone up. This is global liquidity, by the way, friends. This is not just the US one. This is everywhere in the world. That's why when China and all these other currencies start printing as well, it all contributes. But of course, Big Daddy is America. And America has been restrictive, right? That's why America's been restrictive. So far, actually, they haven't. They've been loose in the background, but you can tell that they're firing up the cannons in the background. So that's ultimately what they're playing for, friends. So we have 2 red monthly candles, just like 2016. And actually, in every Bitcoin halvening year, 2012, 2016, 2020, in each Bitcoin halvening, after the Bitcoin halvening, we never had more than 2 red monthly candles until the top. Not once. Okay, it was just 2 times happened in the Mt. Gox Ponzi 2016, and then we just kept going up. There were pit stops along the way. You would have like 3 green and then a red, and then we continue next, or like a big fat doji. So those did appear, but never 2 in a row, like what we've had now. We had June and July. It's been bone crushing right now. Okay, and then that's the next step. The next step we're waiting for is this money printing type of phase, which that's kind of spooky, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, it's funny. Do you want to see the FOMC, friends? FOMC, the US rate curve. They have an 85% chance, pretty much, of a rate cut in September. Okay, a rate cut in September. Now, one rate cut isn't enough, but it's just kind of showing you the market, all the players, right? They're gambling with trillions of dollars. They know around this time period, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Fed cut rates. They do some stimulus. Something's going to move on. You know, people even have conspiracies because Donald Trump wants to get rid of Jay Powell. So people will know that. There's actually a real stat thing I shared with you. There's a 90% chance. I've got the exact number. Something like a 90% chance that if the stock market is going up in the 100 days or the 3 months leading into the election, you get reelected for the person incumbent right now. So Uncle Joey Biden. Okay, isn't that crazy stat? 90% chance. So, and trust me, the governments know this. Like 100 years of data. They know if the stock market goes up in the 90 days leading into the election, right? Then that net gain, 90% chance re-election. Crazy. That's really, really nuts to think about. So are they going to try game it? Is Jay Powell more inclined now to cut rates? Are they going to do some like background stimulus stuff to just get the stock market up? We'll see. But there you go, friends. That's a comprehensive overview. Like, subscribe. Catch you soon.